tutorial starts with a song, but it's only a few seconds long. Let's get started with animation. Hi folks, nCloth is a module in Maya which deals with a Nucleus solver. That means it has gravity and all kinds of properties which need dynamic simulation. We cannot animate these things with keyframes only. And the beauty of nCloth is that it does not necessarily have to behave like cloth. Actually, you can have concrete made from nCloth. Anyway, I want to show you 7 planks here, and they behave in different ways because they have different nCloth properties. There's nothing involved here other than nCloth. I'll show you the basic geometry. Let's just pick this one here. This plank, they're all the same geometry wise, and you see it has quite a high resolution, not an extremely high resolution, and it's thin and well, just like a plank. And I made it using this tool here. They are basically all come from cubes, and I just scaled them properly and used the subdivisions here. Now they're all the same and they have different properties. For example, this one has a preset property called honey. Honey is simulated here by using the volume pressure method to conserve internal volume, and that's actually what we're going to see anyway. Let's pick this one, for example. Well, it has no preset, so there's no description in here, but I did something with the stretch resistance, for example, to set it to 1, I guess. I don't really remember. They all behave totally differently. This one is interesting too. I know that because I did it, because I activated some pressure here. Just a pressure damping, just a little bit of damping, and the start pressure, which is set to 0.009 or whatever, and a pump rate of 0.1. So it pumps a little, and we'll see that pumping effect here. The whole system has a nucleus, and in the nucleus you see the wind, gravity and wind, and the air density is set to the default 1, but the air speed, the wind speed, is set to 3, and the wind direction goes into X. That means into that direction. I could set the Y direction to 0.1, for example, so I would have a little effect into the upper dimension. Anyway, you see down here, and this has been introduced, I think, in my 2019 or maybe 2020. The red line shows you that the simulation is almost through. It's at frame 400 something now, but the part which is red can be used for scrubbing back and forth, which is really nice. I'm currently at frame number 1, and now I go forward, and you see already that pumping effect here on this one. This one here, which is the honey, has a very thin, so to say, feel of the surface, and it shows some self-penetration here. The lower part penetrates the upper part. It does not really smash the whole geometry, but it sort of misbehaves. And I showed in another tutorial how to get rid of this effect, but we don't need it here, because in rendering and for the purpose of just demonstrating these things, this doesn't matter. But I just wanted to point you to that problem. And this one is getting a little bit thicker in the middle, and this one even thicker, so they're different. This one has this little whatever at the very front here, whereas this one has something happening back here. Let's get a little bit closer. So we have quite some deformation already, and this is an interesting effect. So it sucks the air into this part, and this is all done with nCloth. Let's have a look at the ones back there. They're already deforming quite nicely, this one here. And now let's scrub a little bit forward, and you see this has a pulsing effect because I animated the pressure here, and this already is such a wonderful mess here. Let us have a focus on the blue one. So it starts like this, and this is the wind effect. self-penetration, you can see that. If you want to get rid of that, you need really much more computing time for the simulation. The brown one has curls at the end, and it curls back from the front. So one of the key things here is to go to the cloth nodes in the outliner, and in the attribute editor you can now set these flags, for example a collision flag to face, or to self-collision flag from vertex to full surface, so you get a more precise simulation here. But the collision strength and the collision property maps, you can create a map, for example. I'll make a tutorial about the maps here pretty soon, but here's the stretch resistance. If you raise this, it has a high resistance against stretching, so it will more or less behave like these ones here. This one is just pushed by the wind into this direction, but it stays quite stable. The shear resistance and the restitution angle, they're all lots of parameters here, and I just would like to recommend you to create the same geometry, maybe 7 or 10 times copy, and then apply different settings of the nCloth module here. How to create nCloth? Well, that's pretty simple. Let me just create a sphere, which is here, and if you want to make nCloth from that sphere, you'd go to FX and then nCloth, and you create an nCloth. I don't want to do this here because I will lose my cache and it will have to recache then, but this is the way to go. Well, I show you a rendering of this nice animation, and I wish you a very good day. Bye bye.